Hello and welcome to Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast. I'm Alex,
I am Eric.
and today we have a special guest. That's right, the chef intern at Carl's law firm, which we were consulting with because our scheduled appointments coming up with the prosecutors for our case.
It's true. And I heard that this intern actually specializes in podcast law.
That's going to be really helpful because we are up to our gills in podcast law. I also heard she bakes the best cookies in the whole East.
Yeah, when we went into the office, guess what she was doing? Baking cookies, baby. Ooh.
Anyway, hello, how's it going? Welcome to the podcast. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm the cookie baking law intern who specializes in the illustrious history of podcast law.
What's your favorite kind of cookie to bake? Obviously.
Oh, well, to bake,
Yeah.
I like uh-ohs.
What are those? Is that when
Yeah.
you
Is
just
that
mix
like
a bunch of stuff together and then go uh-oh?
No, so they're chocolate chip cookies on the bottom, they're brownies in the top, and in the middle you put Reese's and Oreos.
And I take it after you eat it, you look at the scale the next day and you're like, uh-oh.
That is absolutely correct.
Very good. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Rose. We appreciate it. This is season 4 episode. We're just going to say 10.
I think 10.
And I will change it in the edit if it's wrong.
Nah, it's definitely 10. All
Mhm.
right. So should we just hop into our main topic?
I think so. We should probably give an update. We have, 12 counts of broadcasting a podcast without a license, and 1 count of scandalous and seditious podcast material.
You know, it's crazy. I thought this was America, land of the free airwaves, and I want to say
I didn't
free
know
speech,
that
but I don't want to say free again.
I didn't know that a tasteful nude of the weatherman via radio was going to get us in so much trouble. I thought it was totally fine.
It makes no sense, you know. It just comes in that staticky frequency based off of how hairy the man is, of course. But
Yeah.
it should be perfectly fine. Like the America I grew up in, we were allowed to do whatever we wanted on our ham radios.
Everyone was hamming it up on the ham radio.
But I guess this is the America we live in.
You put a picture of a man covered up with only a baking apron pulling a ham out of the oven one time on your podcast, and the MACC gets you.
I know, and then when you start exposing the dangerous wombat trade, and they're like, no, it's
Oh yeah,
it's not even right.
they probably have some sort of. They're probably inside. Just say gonna call this deep wombat, but I think the MACC is dealing in the wombat trade, Eric.
I bet they are, but Alex,
Don't
you know
even
what's even worse?
Don't even get me started on their conflicting interest with home koalas.
I know, it's absurd, but I was gonna say, do you know what's even crazier? I just got a letter.
What is it?
It was a cease and desist about us talking about the next Magic Treehouse starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Escape from Vesuvius. Like,
Oh,
what?
I didn't
think
know.
They love the free advertising, right?
You really think they would? It's such a great movie series. We'll have to get Maxie Boy on and ask him how his acting career is going.
You bet. All right.
We gonna hop into this main topic, Eric?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, great. Rose, you ready for this?
So ready.
Can you put on your main topic seatbelt?
It's clicked in.
Trick question. Segways don't have seatbelts.
All right. So this week we're talking about none other than Bank Street in Hong Kong.
Is it so named because of the large church at one end?
No, it's actually named because of the massive petting zoo.
For real?
No, it's the Bank of China, man.
Main topic's supposed to be factual, Eric. Get your facts.
Yeah, I'm just getting you dirty. But the interesting part about Bank Street is that it's really short. It's like only a little bit. My research tells me that it's a short street. That's it.
That's all the Wikipedia article had.
You know it. And it
Oh,
it actually
no.
links. It links. Hear me out. This is a little scandalous. So it links Devoir Road Central to Queens Road Central. So I see it as the French and British rule, the Queen of England, and say devoir. That's obviously French. It was such a dispute. They're like, what are we gonna do? Like, who gets this coveted Bank Street? And that's when the bankers came in. They're like, you know what? This is our street. And then they actually formed a little coup and took over the entire street to avoid any conflict between the British and the French.
Oh, see, I heard the British and the French couldn't decide on what to do with Bank Street, and that's when the Swiss moved in.
That's it. It's Swiss
and named it after their national institution, the bank. Yeah. And it's in Hong Kong, you say, Eric?
Yep.
Which is Hong Kong now part of China, if I remember correctly?
Is it officially? I don't know. I was trying to actually look up what was going on with those. If they were still, protesting and.
Oh, they're definitely still protesting. That's just like what you do on the weekend. You go get pepper sprayed by the police.
I mean, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it's good fun. Hopefully on Bank Street, I guess. The small stature of the street maybe means that the protests on it will be, I don't know, less frequent statistically because of area. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense, but one little known secret about Bank Street is that it actually during the 1930s. Guess what happened, man?
What happened during the 1930s?
Those Swiss came in. The Swiss guards just started rolling through the street, and everyone was like, "Oh no!"
Ah, yes, the Swiss guards, which are from Switzerland. Yes.
Exactly, the Swiss guard leading the Pope.
That's where they live.
None other than the Pope was walking down Bank Street when he declared. He said, "I am the Pope." And then everyone was like, "Oh my goodness, the Pope's here!" And then, so what they did was they took a portion of none other than Wardley Street and the former City Hall, and they said, and the Pope was like, "In the name of our Lord, destroy it." And then they demolished it.
Wait, they actually knocked down Bank Street?
No.
They made more. They in the whatever this was, they increased Bank Street
in the 30s. They made it larger.
I didn't know that in the 50s. Not only did Nixon go to China, but so did maybe that was the 70s. I don't remember.
Well,
when Nixon
I'm saying
went to China.
The 30s, man. And so
I didn't know that Nixon was beat to China by the Pope.
Yeah, so the Pope showed up and was like, "This will be the best bank in all of the Pope's land of banks," and now it is. It's historically known as the Pope's Bank. So.
All right, well, let's get off this riveting main topic, Eric, and move into a little segment, the one that our guests probably prefer the most, which is the Rhyme Zone.
You know it. I believe we called it a poem, the Dew It Brothers famous poetry slam battle off poets, something like that.
Correct. I believe one of our Twitter questions was asking about poetry, and we directed them to our poetry slam every Thursday morning here on the Dew It Brothers podcast. Yeah.
The only thing that can get me through the day is a nice tall glass of beer, and amply, that's what I wrote my poem about this week.
I also wrote mine about beer, but the weatherman informed me that the ocean levels are rising due to global warming, and so mine also has a little bit of that in it.
Oh my goodness.
Rose, do you have
Yeah, Rose also has a beer-inspired poem.
Beer or water-inspired poem?
It is true that the level of water rising deeply concerns the subject of my poems, a shark.
Well,
wow, I mean, might as well just send these poems out then. You know, there is definitely shark beer. There's a dogfish head beer.
Dog head. Not dogfish head.
It's dog? I think it's dogfish head.
Dogfish. Not
How
head.
are the sharks involved in the brewing process?
I
just
believe
mascatorially.
They secrete a special saline solution out of their gills to really bring a standard beer up to like the next level beer.
It's definitely dogfish head, Eric.
I'm looking it up.
Which is a brewery and a shark.
Yeah, no, you got me. You got me good with that one.
They're down down in Delaware.
Delaware. Good old Delaware. All right, Alex. I'm going to drop the craziest poem you've ever heard, okay?
Well, the fans will decide that, but let's head it here.
I gotta get in the mood here. Poem. Yes, poet power. Let's activate. A tall glass of brew. Some say a cold one can even cure the flu. Ales and lagers, fit for the manliest of loggers. Come, bring it by the stein. Woo-hoo-hoo! Now that is divine. Say, what's this made with? Homegrown hops? I thought they were only a myth. The sweet, wonderful cones. Now this is how I get into my zones. By Odin's beard, it's time to get weird.
Wow, that was
And
pretty good,
scene.
Eric. I was impressed with that one, especially the way you worked in our sponsorship like that.
Oh, you know it. I'm a big sellout for that sweet lucrative monies.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite was when I rhymed loggers with loggers.
Yeah. I also thought that was clever. Thoughts, Rose?
Genius, sheer brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should call the Nobel Commission.
Yeah, the whole baccalaureate scene is not really my thing, so I'm more of a underground poet, but they always send me letters, knock on my door, and they're like, "We need you into the Poet Society," and I say, "Nah, man, that ain't me."
Oh man, you and Bob Dylan really just out here shutting them down.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna, supply their big Bank Street desires of having me out there. No way.
I think the Nobel Commission needs to step up their security because their bell was obviously stolen. And so you can't be having that when it gets returned.
That's what happens when you have no bell.
Exactly. Speaking of, to prevent bell thievery in the future. Speaking of that, Eric, I got a poem. Just says beer right across the top.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you ready? It's not
Yeah.
actually about beer. It's about beer drinking locations, establishments, if you will,
Let's hear it.
and their establish something. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
There was a beer hall so grand that it stood the test of time on land, but when the sea swelled up, it was washed away to the very last cup. So if you have a beer hall grand, you better build it far inland.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Big beer hall kind of guy?
Oh yeah, well I mean it's really about the location of your beer drinking establishments, and why you should build them in certain locations.
So you would prefer just the atmosphere to make a beer sort of really stand out over, the ingredients, like say homegrown hops?
I mean, I'm telling you that the structure, the foundational structure, security of your beer hall is important to its how well it, to how long it's gonna last.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. Rose, do you have a poem to help round out this segment for us?
Yes, if Eric had the greatest poem ever, then I'm going to go ahead and say I have the least greatest. But it's related to yours because if you're concerned about the dangers of getting drunk near the water, this little fishy friend goes from 20 degrees of the up high all the way swimming down to 20 degrees of the down low. That's right, California to New Zealand to Angola. That was not a poem, though. It's just me being weird about sharks. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought that was the poem, and I was like, ooh, the build up.
Those longitudes, those were longitudes. I'm in.
They're either longitudes or latitudes. I wasn't paying attention.
They're definitely latitudes, right? I don't remember. Anyway, go
Yeah,
for it.
latitudes go up to down. They're like a belt. Longitudes go around and around.
Yeah,
not like a piece of clothing.
Just call them parallels because they're parallel.
No. They're laterals, and then there's the longerals. Come on, get it right.
And the longerals are the belty ones.
No, the longerals are the up downs.
Yeah. What would you call those? The striped sweaters of the world.
Gotcha. All right, Riz, hit us with this poem.
Picky eater, no. If it has fins, it's got to go. With a suction jaw that can eat a porpoise, it's clear that this fish is not a wuss. Born in yolks, unlike us folks, they'll be 3 feet when the mate they meet. If the tides are good and the ocean's wavy, they aren't afraid, they'll attack the Navy. That's true, it was a real problem in the 70s. Most glowiest of sharks, from the deeps is where you hark. From Samoa to Brazil, it is terror you instill. While first known as demon whale biters, you are the ultimate hollow-bladed fighter. Pug of the fish world, traveling in schools and swallowing your teeth, you make me scared of what lies beneath. Sweet ectoparasite, shedding its teeth in rows, it grows new ones as it goes. Cookie cutter shark, you're pretty heckin' cool.
All right, that's pretty good. I gotta take my hat off to that one.
The only question I have is that line. Did you really say that sharks are the pugs of the fish world?
Oh, look up cookie cutter shark. This is the pug of the fish world.
Yeah, but like pugs are harmless, and cookie cutter sharks will like take a chunk out of you.
Well, it's just the way I see it is a pug has been selectively bred to be an abomination on this earth.
Oh, I mean, cookie cutter sharks do have the whole snout upturned thing. It's kind of cute.
Oh my goodness, they are
adorable.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, they're
just like
they're quite pug-like.
It's quality. All right, well, get down in the comments, dear listeners, and please tell us that Rose won so that we can send off her. We can steal the bell from her prize before we send it to her.
You know it.
Uh-oh, Eric. You know what time it is?
I think it's time for us to answer the questions that people never expected their answers to be, or will probably ever find this podcast to know the answers.
I mean, we could reply with the podcast to all of their Twitter questions, but I'm sure they don't want that.
No, that's an invasion of privacy.
That's right. It's questions from the internet, and we got them. They ask them, we answer them. So Eric, Clark with 4 stars at Clark in Chicago. Think Chicago. The Chicago flag has 4 stars on it.
Sounds about right.
What is the market like for one who wants to trade in a Segway for a snowblower?
Well, I believe all you have to do is go to like the Midwest or the South.
Well, presumably Clark and Chicago's in Chicago.
Because I've heard that they are getting snow for days right now. Wait. Is he trying to trade? He wants a snowblower?
Looking for a snowblower, trying to trade a Segway, wants to know what the market's like.
No, that's a terrible market right now. I think it'd be better to do the old paperclip to a house idea and start low. Start with something like your Segway, all right? Everyone loves a good Segway, but you're gonna have to trade that for something to trade for something to trade for something to trade for that snowblower. Snowblowers are in high demand.
They really are. They're a hot commodity. And straight from the scene, Rose, what's the local snowblower market looking like?
I would give my firstborn child.
Expensive.
There's too much snow. There's not enough blowers. It's very terrible.
As far as I can tell, you really only have one option, Clark, and that is to turn your Segway into a snowblower.
I heard that the Pimp My Tractor boys have been actually working in that field for quite some time now.
They've been turning Segways into snowblowers. Do they sell a kit?
Yeah.
How chromey is it?
It's a little dangerous because of how blinding it is. Any snowplow that drives down your street might be blinded and crash, which only leads to bigger issues. However, the chromium...
That's a necessary evil, though. It couldn't be less chromy. I mean, wouldn't function properly.
No, the chrome is necessary. And so the chrome, what you do is the Segway's wheels, they stay the same, and you actually still ride it, okay? So what they do is they just rewire it a little and add on this big industrial fan. So it doesn't really blow. I guess it does blow, but it doesn't really suck up and shoot out like a traditional blower. It just sort of it's similar to a
it's really the what you're telling me, Eric, is it's really the immersion blender of snowblowers.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's very similar to those down in the bayou, how they have those fan boats.
Yeah,
it's
sort of like that, but a Segway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do Segways have drive shafts?
What
to
else
attach the
grab
fans
onto, dude? Come
on, they must obviously. Those Pimp My Tractor boys figured it out. That's their new that's their get rich quick scheme. This is their GameStop stock.
This is true. It's going through the moon. I will say it's one other thing that this person can do to try and sweeten the deal. Offer to use the snowblower on the other person's property.
The person they're getting it from, but then you teach a man to snowblower. What is it? You snowblower a man's driveway, and his driveway is clear for a day. You teach a man to go out to the store and buy his own snowblower, and his driveway is clear for as long as he has gas, right?
Yeah, sounds about right. Which I have heard isn't doing too hot down in Texas, anyways, where they have a little bit of snow in their.
No, I heard
their
everything
entire-
is completely doomed down there.
Oh yeah, it's not looking good for those Texans.
Do you know if you don't keep your house warm, all your pipes will freeze?
Huh? Who would have thought? Not
Yeah.
this guy.
Weird, right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I think our boy Clark here has a few options, but the Pimp My Tractor boys are probably his best bet.
Exactly. You're gonna have to get the Segway to snowblower conversion kit from Pimp My Tractor. Rose, do you have any closing thoughts before we fully answer Clark in Chicago's question?
I mean, for the right price, I'll shuffle out Clark in Chicago, but it's not a small price.
but probably cheaper than a snowblower, especially now in this high demand snowblower market.
That is true. Rose Monahan, cheaper than a snowblower.
Don't advertise that.
What are your current prices? Because I know I work for one set of freshly baked cookies and some hot cocoa.
Wow, you are selling yourself short.
I mean, I'm talking primo stuff though. It's got to be like
I'm cheap. I didn't know you were that expensive. I'll do 25 square feet for a cup of coffee, right? 60-ounce cup of coffee and one Stewart's apple fritter.
Alex, that is a deal. However,
right?
I gotta say, it's different without Fritter Fridays, man.
Oh, I know. I can't.
That's
How did Stewart's? I know that like the businesses, they have to go through the tough times in the pandemic, but how can they do away with Fritter Friday?
Fritter Friday was the one thing keeping me going towards the end of the week. And
oh my gosh, yes.
I think that was the last sacred site of upstate New York was the Fritter Friday. And without that, I don't know how anyone can live up there.
Yeah, Rose, what are you gonna do without Fritter Friday?
Honestly, I probably just won't get out of bed. Like, I'll try again Saturday.
That's fair.
It's like an appropriate level of response.
All right, Alex.
I mean,
go Rose.
Oh, because I am in Chicago and yesterday was Mardi Gras, there are Polskis everywhere, which are like Polish donuts.
Yeah.
They're not fritters, but they'll get me out of bed.
They should be buy one, get one free perpetually at Price Chopper, by the way.
Oh, yes, I have heard that. I have been abusing that deal.
Oh, no.
The scale is now in the 300s, but it's bulking season still.
But the deal's so good.
It's begging me to buy it, man. Come on.
Yeah, it really is. Eric, do you want to do another question? I think we just thank our sponsors, and then I lop off some bits of this here podcast.
I don't know. I think we do a speed round. We each get
question.
We each get like 2 or 3 sentences to describe our answer, and then we dip.
All right. You will have 30 seconds in this speed round question. This is a question from Hamsterhawk at Hamsterhawk1.
All right. Hamsters and hawks, they don't mix, but okay.
Well, it's a hamster with a mohawk that's rainbow colored.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Hamsterhawk1 asks, why can't I turn off likes for people I follow? That's 100% of the horny on my feed that I don't want to see.
I don't understand the question, but I'm running out of time. So, most importantly, buddy, your hamster and your hawk, they are not going to get along. You might think that they get along, but they will not get along. One day, the hamster will be crawling over that dead hawk body, and it'll be like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? And, that is my time. I, forego the rest of my time.
All right, great. Thank you very much. So, Hamsterhawk1, this is a very obvious problem. Why you can't turn off likes for people you follow, I don't understand, but you need to stop following if you're having trouble with too much horny in your feed. Just stop following Jonah at the Sexy Hobbit 1. That is your problem. I pop in every once in a while to see what he's up to, but I don't follow him because, I mean, yikes, you can't have that on a Thursday morning, man. All right. I would like
to claim the rest of my time to say you also have to stop following all of those rhino sanctuaries, and that's all.
Oh yeah, also good idea. Stop following all those rhino sanctuaries. Rose, you're up. 30 seconds.
You just have to like so much that everyone else would become jealous, and you'll be the horny king. I yield my time.
Perfect. All right, I think that answers Hamsterhawk1's question. With that, it is time to thank all of our sponsors, Eric. And I don't think this podcast would be possible without Pimp My Tractors and their new product, Segway to Snowmobile. One easy kit for 15 payments of $599.99. Get your Segway to Snowblower conversion kit. It comes in chrome, chromium, and chromiest.
We done it without the minimum security Cookieville cookie cutter shark sanctuary. They really are a great sponsor and a great resource to help out all the cookie cutter sharks of the world.
This podcast is, of course, brought to you by beard halls with solid foundations. Get some sort of any civil engineer, really, to stop drinking beer long enough to check your foundation.
And, of course, homegrown hops. Through the thick and the thin, and oh my gosh, those vines are way too thick. It's only thick. Oh my goodness gracious.
Take the snowblower to him, Eric. That'll stop him. At least it'll buy you time. Rose, who do you want to thank for this podcast?
You know, I'm incredibly grateful for my law internship at the offices of Carl, Ditcher, Quick, and Hyde. You know, I think this is just where I need to be in my career right now. Such a positive step forward. All they make me do is bake cookies and listen to podcasts.
What a great company. I'm glad
that
we were
reminds
able to
me
find
that this
them.
podcast is brought to you by the Oh Damn cookie. So one look at that cookie and you go, oh damn. But like you eat it anyway.
I believe it's actually oh dang is the PG version.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we don't want to rack up any more violations.
Also, I would like to thank the National Poets Society. However, please stop emailing me. I'm all for that underground stuff, man. Can't catch me wearing a tux up in front of a auditorium. Hell nah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming and listening. Thank you, Rose. Is there anyone you would like to, any other things you'd like to say before we close this podcast out?
No, I think I'm good, thanks.
All right. With that, it has been Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers episode, Podcast-orama, Season 4, Episode 10. I'm Alex.
I am Eric.
And for the love of God, man.
Just sand it.
All right, that went pretty well. I'll take it.
I'd say it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Gotta love those snow blowers. Anytime we can get a Pimp My Tractor in there, that's how you know it's good.
Get out of here, Craig. Get.
Dude, this is embarrassing. I know why the Baccalaureate Poet Society never comes to your door.